What's up, traders? It's Chris here. So we have another top trade review for you here. This is where we review trades that our students have taken on live accounts and share with our members in the forum here. So we're going to share this student's exact entry, stop loss, take profit, their strategy, and some areas that I think they can improve upon so you can see how we teach our students to make money and how to help you find better trades. And so the details on this one here, this is a silver trade they took. They did a great swing trade on this one here, captured a large portion of the recent up move in silver. So their entry was 13,915. And they only had a 20-cent stop on this one there, which is fantastic considering silver, the volatility, and also that they had grabbed almost a $2.20 target. So that left them with a total plus R of 10.85. So if you think about that, if you had risked $1,000 on this trade, you would have walked away with $10,850 in profit on that. He was making 10 times or over 10 times his risk on the trade, which is a very high, plus R in this one here. That's kind of why I chose this one for this week here. You can see the actual trade from his broker's chart, so we can show you that's pretty much his entry right there, matches everything, all the numbers. And he held it through a couple pullbacks, which we're going to get into on a chart here, eventually hitting his target. Patience paid off in this one here. He was disciplined. He stuck with it, believed in his overall analysis, even though he had a lot of times that he could have locked in profit and pulled back and lost a lot of it. He stuck with it and did a great job on this one here. So let's go ahead and jump into the trade. Okay, here it is on TradingView, my favorite charts. Here's his entry. You can see right here, and you can see pretty much that the trade almost never went into profit. Maybe it was down a total of about 8 cents on silver. So he didn't even use up he barely even used up half of his total stop loss. So that means he had a really good precise entry on this one here, and his stop loss was really well placed to, allow the market to go a little bit against him, but he still had plenty of buffer for it not to trip his stop loss. And yet he was also still close and very efficient with that stop loss. So he did a great job on this one here. And here's his target right here. And so in terms of the actual trade, this one is pretty straightforward. So we have this, silver was just getting hammered like all instruments in March. And then after kind of double bottoming and then building kind of a higher ledge and a base here, silver skyrocketed higher and blew above this kind of corrective structure consolidation here and just kind of skyrocketed, and even did have one pullback test right here and then launched higher. And so he felt like, hey, this trend is, this trend right here is over, and short-term silver is very bullish. Silver forms an impulsive move, a corrective structure, and then it sells back to this kind of support here. So you can see it there, and it just sits there for a while. And he feels like, look, if I'm going to be getting in here, I'm either, I don't need a whole lot of room on the stop loss here. It's pretty clear that there's a lot of buyers just holding the line here. So if I'm wrong, I get out for a small stop loss, no big deal. But if I'm right, I can have a really tight stop loss and capture a lot of the upside. In terms of his entry was near perfect to where everything was holding. If we zoom in just a little bit more, you can see he was only about, okay, so his entry was 91, which would be right about there. And the lowest price point was 82. So about 9 cents lower. So he really only could have shaved off a few more cents on this one here. But other than that, I consider the entry to be near perfect, and I consider the stop loss to be, nicely done. He put it below these spikes here. He got in this candle here, put it below these spikes, gave it a few more cents room. I mean, it's just very, very well done with the precision on this one here. In terms of the target, we're going to get into that, and then I want to shortly, but I want to talk about, this is, the kind of trade that you get into it, and many of you have probably had this experience. You get into a trade and it's a great winner, and you can see impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective, just a fantastic series of that particular model. But then the market started to pull back, and it's when markets pull back, you're watching the trade, you're up, what, almost $2 on the trade, and all of a sudden you see it pull back and lose over $1 of that, more than half your profits. It's very easy for a trader to think, oh wow, I lost the chance to capture all this profit. Now I'm only walking with half a profit. This is kind of the spin that goes in traders' minds, especially inexperienced ones here. But Pisha Yuta, he was actually featured in several videos back. He stuck to his trading plan. He felt like the overall trend was up, and so he stuck to it, and kudos to him, because shortly after that dip, you can see the market did come right back to this area. And this area should make sense now with this dip and this dip, because that was the resistance of this corrective structure. The only adjustment that I would kind of make on this one here is that when he saw this and this, he probably should have been adding a position. You got a clear ceiling here. You got a pullback floor. It breaks new highs. And so when the market does pull back, oftentimes that floor, if the price action order flow is in your favor and you're trading with trend properly, oftentimes those prior ceilings will become floors on the next leg up on the trade there. So after this touch, he probably should have placed an additional order to get long here. And if he did, he would have just stacked onto his trade. That's what we call pyramiding trades. So it's when you have a bullish or bearish move, you're trading in one direction. And then as the market is going towards your final target, it's going to have pullbacks. And so it's not always perfect. It's not a straight line. Sometimes the market will pull back to prior resistance, which will then become support. And so those often become opportunities to leg into the trade even more or pyramid into the trade. And so I actually have a video on pyramiding, several live trades that I've done with pyramiding and share it on the YouTube channel. I'll leave a link on that below there so you can take a look at that and what it is to just pyramid and stack into it. But this would be my only real adjustment on the trade, is that he stacks into this here, knowing this was resistance. And he'd already given him, hey, you know, the market treated this at support. Hey, why not throw on another trade right here? Just, you know, put a limit order there, right at that prior resistance, now support. Stack into the trade. Why not? Put a stop below this here, capture a whole lot more upside, and capture more profit on this trend here. So after bouncing at this prior resistance, now support, also known as an RRL or role reversal level, it pretty much just built up a group of buyers here and then eventually exploded higher. And then you can kind of see this nice little mini breakout structure. For those of you in my course here, you can kind of see how this is all building. And so he could have potentially stacked into another breakout trade here, but with the resistance right here, he only had about 17 cents of room. So the other option would have been to stack in again. As you can see, this was the prior ceiling. The market breaks above it and then treats it as support. You can see it boom, boom, boom. So it could have stacked in another trade. However, he didn't have a whole lot of room left towards his target, so I kind of understand not stacking into this one. This one should have been a definite stack into the trade or pyramid into the trade. Now, in terms of the take profit here, let's take a look at the weekly chart on this one here. Okay, so the weekly chart here, in terms of why he chose this target about 1608, basically it comes down to this. He had a resistance right here. Let me delete this prior line. That was my line. So this is where he had some resistance up ahead that you might run into trouble. And you can see here it sold off, here it sold off, here it sold off. And then when it broke above it, that's that same thing, treating resistance as support. Over here, it treated the same resistance, got above it, and treated it as support before taking off. So he felt like, hey, if this right here, 1623, low 20s, is going to be resistance, and I want to be taking profit just a little bit shy of that because there's going to be some sell orders stacked in front of that. If that is going to hold, his thinking is, hey, if this is going to hold and this is where the market's going to run into some sellers, they're not just going to be right at the resistance level. They're going to be stacking a little bit below that there. And so he felt like, hey, I'll take profit a little bit ahead of time just in case I run into those orders and it slows down or reverses this trade. So overall, I totally understand that. And I think that was a good job on this one here. I don't think he was managing the trade. I think he was doing set and forget on this one here. And so if he was, he held it to its target. He followed his trading plan. He did his job and he executed his trading plan regardless of all the pullbacks that he had experienced. He executed all these little pullbacks here, which would have tested his nerve, tested his emotions, tested his thoughts like you've experienced. He held through that. That shows mental discipline and a commitment to his trading plan. So good job on Pisciuto to that one there. So overall, I give this an A+ trade, especially considering not only the pullbacks that he had to hold to, but this is a little over a month. So this is a big swing trade he's looking for. And he did it with such a small stop loss. And to do that requires really good precision and really good timing. And he had both of those. So looking at all that, A+ trade to Pisciuto, his now second appearance on the Top Trade Review. Congrats to him on this one here. And then other than that, I really don't have any other feedback. So overall, a great trade and congratulations to Pisciuto on this one. Now, with that being said, did you like this trade? Make sure to give it a like and a thumbs up. Leave a comments below on what you thought about it, our feedback and analysis. Do you pyramid into trades? Is it something you've been practicing? Make sure to check the link below on that about pyramiding into trades. It's a great way to just add on to profit when you're capturing already existing trends. We've been sharing some of these trades in our stock trading course where I share with my live trade members. New York sessions open. About the first hour or two of the market open, I share with them, hey, here's the day trades I'm in, here's the swing trades I'm in. And some of them have just been runners like DKNG, which is DraftKings. I've just been stacking into this trade as it continues to grow and grow and go higher and higher. So this is something that you can learn how to do. And it's really a great way to maximize trends. Instead of just capturing one profit, why not capture multiple profits along the way, multiple trades along the way, especially if you're confident in your analysis and your read on the trend. So make sure you check out that video below. Other than that, subscribe to our channel. I'll look forward to your comments and feedback on this one here. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.